Greetings, beautiful people. I'm Harmony. Welcome to my Quantum Goddess channel. So, today we're going to be getting a few energy messages for the 666 portal. For those of you that don't know, today is the 6th of the 6th of the 6th year. So, today is the highest energy portal of this year. And this portal actually represents pure and unconditional love. And this is not just unconditional love towards others. This is really bringing into question the type of unconditional love that you have for yourself, the way that you treat yourself, the way that you feel about yourself, the things that you expect from love, and the ways that you treat yourself in respect to the ways that you want to be treated in love. What do you do that really sparks your fire? How do you release your inner child? What do you do that sends love through you? What do you do that makes you feel passionate and childlike? Because, in essence, we're only here to learn love in, well, about a million different ways. But we're all here to basically step back into our innocence. And so the divine today is really bringing into question how you truly love yourself. Sorry if you heard my belly rumbling then. Haven't actually ate this morning, I've been fasting. So anyway, let's get into these energies. Please, ancestors and guides, give us some energy messages for the collective. Using this beautiful crystal today, this emerald crystal, representative of the heart chakra, but also in representation of Taurus as well, because Mercury is currently in Taurus, and so is Venus. So, and because we are in the day of the unconditional love and heart chakra, thought it was a beautiful stone to use. Also got bloodstone, malachite, and then blue tiger's eye. Okay, so let's begin. Messages on the energies for today, please, ancestors. Anything that the collective needs to hear about today's portal and moving forward. Okay. So the first one, work through your fears. The second one, blue moon, believe in the impossible. And it's funny as well because this is the new moon in Scorpio. I'm pretty sure that we just had a full moon in Scorpio. Oh, and then full moon, surrender to the divine. Beautiful cards. Okay. So let's get into the tarot deck. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Swords. Wow, my stomach is making some real noises. Apologies if you can hear that. The Nine of Swords. Oh wow, okay. I'm going to take these two at the top. Justice. Then the Two of Pentacles in reverse. The Fool card. And then the Four of Wands. Oh wow, okay. And then we've also got the Two of Cups. Wow, so this is already a very twin flamey reading. Okay. So I actually just believe that this is a message for our twin flame collective. And this is So for some of you right now, I'm being told that you're scared of being assertive. It's almost like you know and you're very sure of what you want, but you keep questioning yourself and you keep putting yourself into a place where you're almost anxious and you worry about it all the time. And the divine wants you to know that no matter where you are in your phase of twin ascension, that everything is balanced, everything is just. It is the way that it's supposed to be. Even if you are in tremendous amounts of pain right now, you have to understand that when we go through a twin flame journey, this is not just a normal relationship or a normal situation. You can't treat a twin flame relationship like any other 3D relationship, because it's got a depth of love and a depth of understanding that comes with that love. And you cannot ignore the lessons that come through with, well, you cannot ignore the lessons that come through with everything that the divine is bringing you. And so I'm feeling like I'm connecting with a lot of people that are in pain right now, maybe going through their twin flame journey in a twin flame separation. And I very much am catching this sort of feeling of like emptiness and lostness. Now, this feeling of emptiness and lostness is not a very nice feeling, I know, but you will get to learn that it's through reaching this rock bottom throughout your journey, and it happens several times, it doesn't just happen once, that you end up actually getting clarified on what path it is that you should be taking. You end up getting, and I can't say validation, but you end up being able to validate yourself. You end up being able to move forward with clarity. And this is actually a beautiful thing, because it's almost like the divine is saying that if you come into acceptance of what is right now, and it's fun as well because we've got an 11 card here, and you know that's a very twin number as well. 1111 represents the two twin flames, and then both of the counterparts that come, so the yin and the yang that reside within each twin flame. And this is almost about, well, it's not almost about, this is about taking a leap of faith, trusting the journey, trusting that whatever is yours will make its way to you. You don't have to fret about it. You don't have to worry about it. You do not have to be anxious about it. The divine is very aware of the lessons that you are being taught right now. They're very aware of the pain that you're going through, but unfortunately sometimes what you have to learn is that without that pain there is no growth. Through a majority of situations and circumstances that bring us the largest amounts of pain, we get the largest amounts of growth. And as much as this is about the twin flame journey, this is also about you being in union with yourself. And that's what I actually think this is. You see this? With the light and the dark, the hands, the holding of the hands. This is the concept of your yin and yang being in balance, your divine masculine and divine feminine counterparts being in balance. And that's just something that resides in all of us. Whether you are a man or a woman, we all have yin and yang inside of us. And so this is about being in harmony with yourself and just accepting the journey for what it is, because there are many of you that are pushing up against it. I can almost hear people saying, like, why did I have to meet this person? Why am I going through this? Why does this hurt so much? The divine is asking you to work through those fears. Ask yourself where those fears actually truly come from. You know, we talk about manifestation all of the time, but it's almost as if sometimes when people don't get what they want when they want, they assume that they've failed or that they're doing something wrong. But that's not really the case, because the divine is saying to you, it all comes in divine timing. You just have to learn the lessons that come with that. And that lesson is not really about unity with anybody else. That lesson is about unity with yourself, being at peace with yourself, being at one with yourself. You know, learning how to give yourself that love that you so desperately want from that twin, giving yourself that unconditional love that you would expect from that person, that you would freely give to that person. This is about loving yourself in that same way. It's funny because the channeled message that I put up the other day is quite similar to this. And so the divine is asking you to believe in the impossible. Believe that whatever it is, well, the union that it is that you're asking to come into fruition will come into fruition. It may not be now, it may not even be next year, but just understand that if you put it out there into the universe, that it will come to you. And you're also being asked to just surrender, you know? Surrender all of these harsh feelings, all of this self-deprecation, because I honestly hear a lot of you beating yourself up over the fact that your twin flame journey isn't going the way that you want it to, or that this person has lied, or that this union isn't going to happen. It's almost like a despair that's going through. And the divine wants you to know that once you start to surrender these feelings, and once you start to love yourself correctly, things start to come into play automatically. Divine union, yes, may be the goal of the whole twin flame journey as far as the 3D perspective is concerned. And they like to romanticize it quite a bit and tell you that it's like the most easiest, best thing that you'll ever experience. And yes, it is, because the level of love that you experience, you'll never experience with anybody else on this plane. You come across a lot of soulmates and a lot of, you know, other people that you come into contact with, and you have a level of love with them, but that level of love will never be the same type of level of love that you have with your twin. But before you reach that level of love with your twin, you have to reach it with yourself. You have to be at peace with yourself. You have to be balanced within yourself. You have to know that in order for this union to happen, this union happens when things are balanced within inside of you. This is not about balancing out with your twin. It's not about an outside perspective. This is all internal. And so once we fix our internal, once we fix our perception, our self-love of what union actually is, and that is the union of our divine feminine and divine masculine aspects. That's the balance and the harmony of our divine masculine and divine feminine aspects. That's us surrendering to the divine and believing in the alchemy of the universe, and knowing that when we put things into fruition, that they'll always come back to us, and bringing your self-love level up so high that you know this and you're no longer worried about this. And you're able to just be fierce in what you want, but also to be able to just let go. And that's what the Fool card is. To be able to surrender to the divine. To just know that things are going to work out. Whether you can see that right now or not, this is taking a leap of faith. This is knowing exactly who you are, what you're worth. Such beautiful cards today. Okay. So let's get a frequency card. Oh. So we got 3 soul cards. Okay. I called it soul cards. It's not a soul card. It's a frequency card. I just read soulmate. Soul time. The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. And I think that this is referring to us having what we want right now and not being okay when it turns up. Understand that, you know, the divine is always working for us, whether it feels like that or not. And it's only us and our 3D selves that are actually in a rush to do anything because we feel like time is going to run out. But really, in essence, your twin always lives with you. And so that divine counterpart is always in you. And your soul is not in a rush, that's you. Synergy. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of the not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. That's a beautiful card. So yeah, it's about cohesion of your mind, body, soul, and spirit. And it's about changing your perspective about this entire journey. Like, as I said before, a lot of people on Instagram, Facebook, just social media in general like to romanticize this whole connection. It's not, it is a romantic journey, but with yourself. But you have to understand that this comes to shatter everything that you've truly believed throughout your life, everything that you've ever thought love is. It turns it up on its head. It changes you from the inside out. That's what this journey is about. And once you come into acceptance that this is not a standard relationship, and this is about your soul growth, this is about you ascending and becoming the best version of yourself. And yes, unfortunately, we have to go through pain in order to achieve that, but it's only through learning those lessons and hitting that rock bottom over and over again that we are able to claw ourselves out and form a better opinion, or just form a different perspective of how we saw things previously. Our twins are here to trigger us in every which way and manner in order for us to grow, in order for our soul to progress, in order for us to be able to do what it is that we're supposed to be doing here. Allowance. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. And you see that's exactly what I was talking about. Allow the universe to work for you. Stop pushing up against it. Don't be so scared that things are not going to happen your way because they're not happening right now. There are certain lessons that need to be learned before anything can happen, before any alchemy can take place. The alchemy has to start with you first. But you have to come out of this fear frequency, especially on the day of unconditional love. This is the day to be treating yourself better. This is the time to be meditating and pulling back and taking some respite and actually being really, really good to yourself. And the divine, I'm actually channeling right now that the divine is saying, do something creative, something that you truly love to do as a young child, something that makes you really happy. You know, go and play with young children. Go and do something that involves the innocence, that inner child. Something that takes you away from that anxiety, that fear frequency, because that's not what this journey is about. This journey is all about love, but it's all about love of self. And finally, discernment. The frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet compassion and wisdom. So discern for yourself whether these feelings that you're feeling right now are actually worth it, whether they are actually serving you in the long run, or whether they are just hindering your progress because you're sitting in that stuck, fearful place. The divine wants you to just surrender. They know how unbalanced you're feeling. They know what this feels like. They're very aware of this process and how much it hurts. But if we chose this as our soul purpose and our soul path, then just understand that you are a very developed soul, and the divine doesn't give you things that you can't handle. For the fact that we, in particular, we chose this before we came on this plane, this tells us everything that we need to know about our soul's development. And it doesn't matter whether you're going through things right now and you don't feel like you're such an evolved soul and you feel like you're going through so much emotional turmoil. The fact of the matter is that you are an evolved soul. You are able to separate yourself, but that is a choice, to be able to discern this from any other 3D relationship. Because as I said, this is about soul growth. This is about learning those lessons and opening out that heart to yourself more than anybody else. Okay, so let's just get one more card from my Cosmic Activation deck. Last card just to end this reading, please, with Spirit. Oh. Beautiful. Celebration. And it's a number 6 card, which is what we're on today. So yeah, instead of thinking about all of the things that you're going through and all of the lessons, the divine wants you to look back at your journey and actually celebrate the small things. Celebrate all those small progressions, because they all add up to big steps. At the end of the day, we may go through a lot of pain throughout this journey, but we also go through a lot of growth. And what the divine is asking you is, did you celebrate any of that growth? Did you actually look inside yourself and be like, oh my God, I wasn't like this before? You know, have gratitude for your journey. Celebrate the fact that you've actually been able to meet your twin. Because a lot of people's twins are not here, and they just have to make do with the fact that they're going to have to integrate their twin on a 5D perspective. So for those of you that have actually met your twin, take it from a place of worry into a place of gratitude, into a place of love. Celebrate your small successes. Celebrate how far you've come, because everybody that goes through this process knows that they evolve so heavily and so highly throughout this time. And sometimes I think that we just don't give ourselves enough credit for the amount of growth that we go through during this process. This is the time to celebrate yourself. Have a lot of gratitude for the journey and for the fact that you've chosen this spiritual path, because you know what, it's not easy. So if you've come here to learn this, and you've come here to unify your yin and yang, and you've come here for the union of yourself, and you were actually blessed enough to meet your twin on this plane, celebrate that. Don't look at it as a bad thing. You know, look at this picture as well. What stands out to me in this picture is it's all about the throat, the root, and the solar plexus. Ground yourself. Stand in your power, own it, and speak your truth. Express yourself. Even if that means that you're screaming fuck into a pillow, you know? Let out all of that anger and whatever frustrations that you've had, and go into a space of celebration, into a space of love, self-love. This journey is as beautiful as you want to make it. Okay. So I feel like those were the messages that my collective needed to hear for the 666 portal. I hope that you have an absolutely amazing day. Keep shining, keep your heart open, stay off the news, and just love yourself better. Have an amazing day, beautiful people. Bye.